As things stand, it's going to be a very busy 6.25 hours for everybody involved in the West Ham transfer department. I've got all of the latest news here on Deadline Day coming next. Yes, it seems like it's going to go down to the wire for West Ham with several outgoings imminent and no current replacements lined up, which, as I said, causes for quite significant concern for West Ham United. Of course, we've got the distraction of our game against Bournemouth kicking off at 7:30 tonight, as well as all of the transfer malarkey that we've got to get through. So over the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to provide you with all the very latest from all those outgoings, from Cornet to Fornals to Benrahma to potential incomings as well, and where this sort of leaves us going in to the rest of the season. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as I prepare everything and get it all ready. So our first moment, and it's breaking news. This is it's not a live picture, but it's a picture coming through to us in the last few minutes, and it is Saeed Benrahma right there. He is a Lyon player. It's not officially confirmed, but there is a picture of him. He's just completed his medical and is about to become a Lyon player. We'll start with Saeed Benrahma, and the news is, as I say, he's pictured in Lyon, and an announcement is expected soon for the loan until the end of the season, with then the option to buy the Algerian winger at the end of the season for a fee of in excess of around 16 to 17 million pounds all in, if they want to take us up on that offer at the end of the season. That's player number one that is potentially leaving West Ham. And then you move on to player number two. It's Pablo Fornals. Dharmesh Chef of Sky Sports has just tweeted about 5 minutes ago that it's very nearing its conclusion as well. A move to Real Betis is very likely for Pablo Fornals for a fee of around £7 million. It doesn't sound like a lot, and in the grand scheme of things, I'm a little bit bemused to why we're letting both of them go, especially with the minimal amount of money that we are going to receive from that Pablo Fornals deal. He is now in discussions with the club to agree personal terms, which shouldn't be too much of an issue considering he is, Spanish, and it's a Spanish club. So I should hope I don't hope, because I quite like him to stay at this point. That's how dire it's got. But that shouldn't be too much of an issue. I'm not expecting an issue there. Before we carry on, the yellow tie is ready and waiting. I haven't brought it out for this show. I'm going to do a build-up show for the Bournemouth game at 6:15. And then if we get any further significant developments after the game, I'll try and pop on very quickly and discuss those as well. I've just got a feeling that's going to happen because it's going to be a very busy evening. So the yellow tie is unmoved from earlier, if you watched the earlier show. But I've got a funny feeling that it will be coming out a little bit later on. I'll get all suited and booted. Of course, afternoon to everybody. Mum, Dad, Michael, thanks for joining us. Looking if we're going to get anyone, it will be Sarr. I'm going to talk about Ismaila Sarr in just a second. Grover27OB says, thank you, Pablo, for taking us to Prague. Yeah, I think it's time for a moment of reflection. I think we'll probably reflect more tomorrow. I'll do a match reflection and a sort of deadline day reflection all in one. So I think we'll do that more tomorrow. But yeah, just quickly on that base, I think we've got to say thank you to both of these players. Fornals and Benrahma have not been up to the standard that we've expected this season, but they both played a pivotal role in our European success last season, and we can't forget that. And they've written themselves into West Ham history, with Pablo Fornals with that late goal to send us through to the final, with Benrahma opening the scoring for West Ham with that penalty, ice cold from him to give us the lead and ultimately set us on our way to lifting that Europa Conference League trophy in June. They've both played a significant part in that, and that's something we'll never forget. But ultimately, I'm a little bit annoyed that we're letting both of them go. One of them might have been okay. I'm a little bit frustrated the replacement is currently coming in. But two of them, and Cornet, which we're going to discuss in a moment, just looks like absolute lunacy from West Ham. If we can't recover this and get some replacements, some reinforcements in the remaining 6 hours and 10 minutes of this transfer deadline day. Michael said, looking like we have a 20-man squad coming into the window. we've weakened ourselves, not necessarily in quality, but in numbers wise, which we were a little bit weak on. I mean, if we were to let 3 players go in one position, it would probably be the wing department, because we did now, by the looks of it, have quite a few players in that position. But it doesn't mean then we can just go and let 2 or 3 of them go without replacing them and just be fine, because we're just not going to be fine, are we? We're still in Europe. We've still got that front to fight on as well. And we've now had official confirmation from Fabrizio Romano. Here we go for the Pablo Fornals deal. It's coming up onto your screen very shortly. This is from Fabrizio Romano. Pablo Fornals to Real Betis. Here we go. A verbal agreement has been reached with West Ham. The understanding from Fabrizio is the deal has been agreed for €6 million fixed fee plus €4 million in add-ons. Betis are ready to complete the documents, and then the deal will be signed. That is the very latest West Ham transfer news, coming from a pretty reputable source in Fabrizio Romano, that Real Betis Pablo Fornals deal is very much nearing its conclusion, and it looks like he will be becoming a Real Betis player and departing East London today. Deary me. Michael says, Benny and Pabs, I'm afraid, are not up to the standard of players we now have in the starting lineup. They're not. They are nothing more than fringe players. But we still need fringe players. And whether they were unhappy or not, we had to keep hold of them or get replacements in, which I don't think we're going to at this current moment in time. With less than, with just over 6 hours left of the window. Are we really going to get 1 or 2 wingers in on loan? I don't know. It's a tough ask. It's a really, really tough ask. So it's about £8.5 million in total. If all of those add-ons come true, the likelihood of them all coming in is very, very weak. So £6, £7, £8 million. Is it really worth it? If the player was forcing a move, which I don't think he was, yes, he was mildly unhappy, and probably if a move came up, he would have taken it, but he wasn't handing in transfer requests and asking to leave and all this and all that. It just seems a bit unnecessary. I know Fornals isn't good enough. I know that. But we need players in this squad. We need to field a bench. I mean, who is going to be on our bench tonight? That's the concerning thing, because as far as I'm aware, Benrahma and Fornals both trained yesterday. Match day -1. They both trained. Take those 2 players out. We're going to have Joseph Anang or Ben Johnson or somebody on the left wing as a sort of replacement for that. This can't be happening. As I said, we're still fighting on the European front. We've still got, lots of Premier League games left to play. The fixture schedule is congested. We're going to have to rotate. And we've just restricted ourselves now. If we're not going to bring anyone in to replace these players we're letting go, it just seems like utter lunacy. It's like suicide, isn't it? Well, why are we doing this? With no clear plan, no clear route through to a replacement. We're letting all these players go willy-nilly, and it seems like we're only really drawing a line with 2 players going. And then from what we're understanding from the Maxwel Cornet deal is that we're only going to let Cornet go if we can sign a replacement. So we're going to let 2 go with no guarantee of bringing a replacement. But we draw the line at that, because we're not going to let a 3rd player go without getting a replacement in Maxwel Cornet. So we prioritise Maxwel Cornet, because the news with Cornet is the Guardian are reporting the Crystal Palace have agreed terms with Maxwel Cornet. That's coming from a correspondent from the Guardian. We don't know the truth in that, whether that's 100% true or not. I've got no idea. But there's no mention of the sort of agreement between the clubs in principle about a fee, but it seems like terms have been agreed. I don't know what that means, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on over the next 6 hours or so. I'm just trying to refresh Twitter and try and get the latest, but it seems like at the moment the latest is just about Pablo Fornals, which I did reiterate. And there is now a picture that has been mocked up of him in a Real Betis shirt. It is up onto your screen now. No, it's not. It's still not there. Where is it? I've got to bring it in. That's why. There it is. So yeah. Can't understand this. I really can't understand this. There he is in a Real Betis shirt, and it just seems like very bizarre from West Ham. It's just very bizarre. Put your thoughts into the comment section whilst I'm taking some of your comments. Cornet's going to Palace. That's also what I've discussed. That seems to be not quite at the advanced stage of the Benrahma and Fornals deals, but it also seems like that is a possibility in the remaining 6 hours and 5 minutes of deadline day. We could have 3 wingers out of the door in the last stages of the window, with currently no immediate replacements coming in. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I genuinely can't believe what I'm saying. I thought we were turning into a fully functioning football club that did things, properly. And at the moment, it doesn't look like that. It seems like a frantic sort of, scattergun. Anybody, let's get anybody, you know. And that seems like the severity of the situation now is that we've let these players go. We've looked at our squad and went, oh Christ, hang on, we've got to bring someone in to replace these players, haven't we? We didn't think about this before we haven't blocked the deals because we're well within our rights before these deals have got to an advanced stage to say, hang on, we're not going to allow you to go before we've got a replacement in. That would be the logical option from the football club. But no, we've allowed them to go. We've allowed them to do their medicals and for everything to be sorted and agreed. And now we're trying to find a replacement. Sarr is another one. I'm going to come on to him in just a second. Palace offered us a flake for Cornet. Right, let's get on to X's latest update, and this is regarding incomings. This is on Twitter. It's available. This was reported about an hour ago. West Ham have been offered a number of players on loan for the left wing position and are exploring one option as we speak. That's the latest update from our man in the know. It's XWHU employee. So we're being offered a number of players on loan. We're currently exploring one option. I think it's a bit late to be exploring. I mean, I'm not an expert in getting transfers over the line, but as far as I'm aware, there's 6 hours and 4 minutes left of this January transfer window. We're currently letting go willy-nilly 2 or 3 of our wingers, leaving us literally with the bare bones of our starting wingers right now. And we're exploring. We're not in a position. We've let ourselves get into a position where we can't afford to be exploring. We need to be getting things done sharpish, because we need things to be resolved and we need all the paperwork to be in. Is it an hour after the deadline? Is it midnight? Is the absolute or is it 11:30? The absolute maximum time that paperwork can be filed. As long as the paperwork is filed by then medicals can be done tomorrow and we can take that risk if we have to. But we're currently exploring one option as we speak. We've got no idea what that option is. There's a couple of names that are being flown around currently in the rumour world, but there's no solid evidence to assume that we're getting to an advanced stage about signing a winger. And we've got ourselves into a position. We've backed ourselves into a corner now where we're looking at a really niche market. We're looking at a really small number of players where the football club are going to be willing to let a winger go in the 11th hour of a January transfer window. So for that to happen, they would have to deem that they've got enough players in that position to fulfill the rest of the season. And also the player would want the move. And we'd also have the money for the wages and the personal terms and all that have got to be agreed. It's such a big ask for West Ham to get these deals over the line, where we're pretty much going from a standing start at the moment, where we're now trying, sending, I don't know what we're doing, whether we're sending loads of emails, whether we're frantically ringing football clubs, or whether we're simply going through our short list of wingers and just testing the waters and requesting the availability of all of these players. One player that is being reportedly, this is the only rumour we currently have about an incoming that I'm aware of. It's about Ismaila Sarr. I'm going to be honest. I didn't do a lot of research. I don't even know what football club he is at. Ismaila Sarr, of course, he went from Watford. I don't know where he is now. He plays for Ligue 1 Club Marseille. Ismaila Sarr. I can just remember him playing for Watford a couple of years ago, and he was a decent player. We've been linked with him in the past. I mean, he literally joined the club last summer. So 25, well, he's only 25 years old. His main position is the right wing. Let's see his stats for this season. Let's see how he is getting on in that front. Yeah, I think before he went from Watford to Marseille, we sort of requested his availability and tried to get the deal done, but it just didn't happen. It seems like we're revisiting that now with Ismaila Sarr as a last chance saloon sort of effort. He's played 14 games and scored 3 goals and 1 assist this season. So 14 games, 4 goal contributions in over 800 minutes of Ligue 1 football. He's played in he's played in the Europa League, 5 games, 1 goal. It's not brilliant stats, is it? But I don't feel we're in a current position to be turning away players if they're available and they're willing to come to the football club, because that's the situation we've got ourselves in now. We've laid our bed and we've got to sit in it now. That's the situation we find ourselves in. So yeah, there is one report suggesting that we could make a late move for Ismaila Sarr on loan. Whether that will happen or not, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see what the rest of you are saying in the chat. We can only have 2 loans and we already have 1. I think, can't you have 2 domestic loans and then 1 one foreign loan? I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a look here. Put out of the 3, Fornals is the one I would keep. Versatile and always grass, never really injured, and brings the lowest price. I'd probably disagree and say I'd probably want to keep Benrahma more because I think he probably offers more. But I understand what you're saying in terms of never injured, and he brings the lower price as well. I mean, we're getting in the summer, I know it's not now, but we could be getting around £17 million for Saïd Benrahma. We're getting maximum 8 million for Fornals. I think that reflects probably the player and probably how Benrahma is a slightly better player than Fornals. But I'd probably say Benrahma, but I understand what you mean. Is it 3 or 4 loans? I'm not entirely sure. the biggest transfer this window is Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari. They've just done that. The timing of that announcement is just annoyed Sky Sports so much because it's deadline day. They love deadline day. Get the yellow banner out. Get the yellow ties out. Deadline day is just all day on Sky Sports, and it's just been interrupted by Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari. I mean, I don't watch F1. I've got no idea what that means in football terms. Is that like, I don't know, Kuda signing for Spurs? I don't know. Saar, not an upgrade, but we will release Paqueta from the wing. That's a very good point. That is a very good point. And I think he's a player that's proved himself in the Premier League before. He's got some pace, a skillful player from memory from his time at Watford a few seasons ago. And as I've constantly reiterated, we're not in a position to be picky right now. If we've inquired about a player and we've been offered them, then we're going to have to take it, which is the issue that we found ourselves in now. There just seems to be a collective sort of sense of sadness on Twitter about Fornals and especially Fornals. We've got an update on Cornet. It's from Jacob Steinberg, very reputable source. He very rarely gets things wrong about West Ham, and he has tweeted that Cornet wants to go to Palace, but at the moment the deal looks unlikely. So that sort of backs up my claims and what I said earlier on, that we're letting 2 of them go in, Benrahma and Fornals, and we're now focusing on trying to bring somebody in to replace them. And it looks like we put Cornet to the sort of back of the equation, and it looks unlikely at this current moment in time that we're now trying to blinker ourselves into trying to find a replacement for those 2 players before we even think about letting go Cornet, which is filling me with a little bit of confidence that there is some common sense in this approach here on deadline day from the West Ham board, that we are moving away and Cornet wants to go, and it seems like a deal is edging closer to being agreed, that we're focusing on. We go, no, go away. We're focusing on trying to bring in a player, and that should be our sole priority right now. And hopefully that is what is going on. I don't want to see Steiden sat in the stand watching us versus Bournemouth tonight. I don't want to see Sullivan there watching us. I want to see none of them there. Noble, Steiden, Newman, Sullivan, all of them. Not one of them should be anywhere near the London Stadium tonight. They should be in their offices grafting, trying to find us a winger replacement. They should have on that iPad of Kevin Nolan's, there should be a conference call going on during the game. And if Steiden goes, Moyes, do you want X player? He goes, yes, whilst the game is going on, and we get a deal over the line. That's the priority. And it looks like that seems to be where we are at currently. There isn't, I'm going to be honest with you, there aren't a great deal of rumours about potential players coming in, and there seems to be sort of an impending amount of anger and conservative sort of fear from the West Ham fan base about, hang on, we're letting all these players go with nobody coming in through the other side of the door. Oh dear. Let's just hope that we can get things done, and in the end, we can find a replacement, because at this current moment in time, I just don't want to see us bring no one in. It would be self-suicide. It would be lunacy from West Ham to see any of this unfold without us bringing in a player to replace them. I mean, just get it done. Just get it done. Johnny says, well, that won't happen. They don't talk to each other. True. True. Well, it's fair. Moyes and Steiden do, because they've been on the pitch before, having a little chin wag before a game. So look, I just hope that we can pull off a masterstroke here and get something done and over the line. Right, I'm now going to go and eat a chili con carne. I'm going to rejoin you at 6:15 for the build-up show. My attention will turn to our game. We're actually playing a game tonight, believe believe it or not, as well as we host Bournemouth at the London Stadium. So in just over an hour's time, I'll be back on here doing the normal build-up show, right into the team news about it, and we'll be able to have a little spot. Will Cornet be on the bench, or is he elsewhere looking and edging towards a move to Crystal Palace? That's all talking points we will discuss at 6:15 on our normal scheduled build-up show for the Bournemouth game, and then it's dependent on our movements and what happens in the remaining hour to whether I rejoin you after the game for a transfer show to round off the January transfer window. I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. I've done a lot of talking in the last 20 minutes, as well as the lunchtime show as well, but I love it. We're playing as well. Honestly, why are we playing on deadline day? It makes my life so much more difficult, but we'll do it. We're doing it, whatever it is, it is. Jake, you're up to not midnight, but I've got to do some negotiations, especially if we are edging towards a deal. If it's going to be completed, I've got to get some negotiations done to get to the 10 o'clock maybe to do a live show. And try and bring you the coverage. I won't be up at midnight. I know that. I won't be up at midnight. Calm down. It's all going to be okay. Plus, I'm sure it's 11 o'clock. I mean, I've been saying the deadline's 11 o'clock. I'm pretty sure it is. So, yeah. Right, I'll see you at 6:15 for the build-up show. Just to reiterate the current update and the current situation for West Ham. Fornals and Benrahma's departure is imminent. The announcement we're expecting very, very soon. Maxwel Cornet's deal move to Crystal Palace is a little bit more complex. We seem to now be focusing on bringing in players, not letting go another player. It seems like done and dusted in terms of the Fornals and Benrahma deals. Everything, just a few loose ends need to be tied up there, and then that can be officially announced on socials, and we can be done with it. But it seems like we're trying to swerve away from the Cornet to Palace deal just to focus on trying to bring in a winger to replace the two we're already letting go. It's chaos. It's the West Ham way, but we wouldn't have it any other way, would we? It's going to be an interesting evening. Let's see how it all unfolds. I'll see you in just over an hour's time for nothing to do with transfers, because we're playing a game. Hopefully we can beat Bournemouth tonight and bridge a further gap between us and the chasing pack for that 6th spot. So yeah, I'll see you then. From me, come on you eyes. Thanks everybody for participating in the chat. Like on the way out, and I'll see you soon right here on West Ham Official Deadline Day. It's chaos. We love it. It's why we do it. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.